Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and in today's video, my first drawing tutorial video actually, I'm going to be showing you how I draw eyes. I learned how to draw primarily off of YouTube when I was like 12 years old, and the first videos I remember watching were actually how to draw eye videos, so that's kind of what inspired me to do this one. So how I first start off is with that line that you kind of saw as kind of a guideline, just so my eyes are I can make sure they're kind of straight, even though as you can tell, clearly the line that I drew is not straight at all. And I realized later in the video that my eyes were a little lopsided, but that's okay. That's just how things are sometimes. So then I went in kind of fleshing out the main shapes, being that almond shape for the eye. And then I went in for the irises and kind of getting that shape. And I also popped in those highlights because I just couldn't resist myself doing it off the bat. So I just kind of went in getting those main shapes and also kind of the tear ducts, and I went in with the pupils of the eye and kind of filling those in a little bit as well. That way they actually look like eyeballs. Something that I like to do is to actually leave the whites of the eyes not purely white, and I add like a bit of shadow to add more depth and make it look more realistic, but also I've found in the past if I don't do that and don't add some kind of shading to the whites of the eye, then the person that I'm drawing, they look a little like shook. Like their eyes are just like pure white, which I mean, no one's eyes are like pure white. There's always gonna be some shadow or something that's causing it to not be pure white. So that's kind of a tip. And then I went in and I drew the creases of the eyes as well, kind of following that curve. And then a good tip when I do eyebrows, I go on either like side of the almond, the eye. I draw like a line going out, as you can see like by the tail. I'll kind of emphasize it in a second here. Just to kind of get an idea of where the eyebrows kind of go. Like if you follow them up at the corner of your eye and go up, it'll kind of meet where the eyebrow is. And then the same thing if you kind of go out on like an angle, like if you were doing winged eyeliner, where you would kind of want to do that, and if you did winged eyeliner and you just continued it all the way up, that's kind of where the eyebrow would be, the edge of it, if that makes sense. So the next thing I'm doing here is adding some shadows and shading. So I am adding the darker parts by the crease of the eye to make it look a bit more sunken in, kind of fleshing out the areas that need the shadows. You can see that I'm doing here. So I kind of draw out the line and then kind of fill it in lightly. Just kind of add that, shading shadow effect. And I kind of go in and fix it a little bit later, but just to kind of get an idea of where I want the shadows to be and if they look good. And let me know if you guys would like to see a tutorial on just eyelashes, because when I first started drawing, eyelashes were like so hard for me because I still struggle with them a little bit, making them look realistic. More so like the center of the eye, because like the eyelashes curl one way, but when they're curling straight at you, it's like hard to draw a straight eyelash. That's not straight and looking weird, if that makes any sense. So maybe I could do a tutorial on that if you guys would be interested. And then I went in and did the eyelashes on the other eye, kind of doing the same thing, kind of making it look sporadic. And I kind of like when I draw them, I kind of try to keep them clumped, because if I draw them like all perfectly spaced out, I find that it looks fake, and I'm just not a fan of that look. I kind of like them to look a bit more natural and not as, perfect. And here's my freshly sharpened pencil that I was so proud to show you. At this point, I hop into drawing the bottom eyelashes, and I actually love drawing bottom eyelashes because I just think they're so much easier than drawing top eyelashes. I just do like several clumps of two. I do often find that when I draw bottom lashes, they look far more realistic when I draw a very small amount and I just draw them in a few clumps. So, because if I just draw like the bottom just full of eyelashes, then it's gonna look like you have spiders for eyes, and that would not be good. And then at this point, I realized that I forgot to erase my guidelines. So I went in with my handy dandy eraser and did the best I could to erase all the lines, even though a few were clearly left behind. Here I went in and added some extra details, that being the lines and creases under the eyes, and started adding a little more shading to give some more just life and oomph to the eyes. I actually went back, so I added too much shading under the eyes, and they looked, they looked like they did not get enough sleep, so I kind of went in and tried to fix that. And then at this point, I realized that the iris on the left side was touching the bottom of the eyelid and the one on the right was not. So I went in with my eraser once again and fixed that mistake and brought them both to the same place. At this point in the drawing, I felt like it needed a little extra something, so I decided to add freckles. And for me, a good rule of thumb, not just with freckles, but with anything that's needs to be dots that look sporadic, I go by the 2-1 rule. And what that means is that I will do 2 dots close together and 1 dot far away, kind of randomly. And you can see that I do that here where I have 2 dots that are close together and then 1 that's kind of side, and I just repeat that over and over, and then it kind of creates this randomized looking pattern of dots. And there you have it. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. Please comment down below if there are any other tutorials you would like to see me make. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.